Hi, everybody. We're getting ready for AEW, but before we do, just want to wrap up some of this news that we have, because I don't know what's going to happen to me tonight. I've had this raging headache and allergy attacks today. Stuff's dripping down on my face. All my head is clogged up and everything, and, so I'll spare you having to look at me because I'm a mess. Oh, look, there I am. See? I told you I'm a mess. I haven't been able to do anything today. I really woke up. I slept for about 18 hours almost straight. Probably one of the worst headaches I've ever had in my life. It was so bad that I wanted to throw up at one point. It just made me that nauseous. But it was all because I mowed the lawn yesterday. I know it. I mowed the lawn yesterday. I should have wore a mask. I think I need to wear a gas mask when I'm outside mowing the lawn. And I have one now thanks to COVID, so I guess I'm going to wear it out there for that. Dude, imagine if I had gotten like COVID and had this attack, like allergy attack. I mean, dude, there's no way I'd make it through anything. I was going to do this watch along with SpaceX, so that's not going to happen. Obviously, they canceled SpaceX anyway, so I made a video about that. Minecraft Dungeons is out, so I'm going to be streaming probably some Diablo, maybe Minecraft Dungeons and videos like that coming to my gaming channel. Just because I'm waiting for the new Diablo season and I'm bored, and Minecraft Dungeons is basically Diablo for kids and Minecraft players. So there you go. We'll get into that later. But into the wrestling. Really the one thing that we wanted to talk about was we sort of talked about, WWE all we could, last week. We talked about the crowd noise versus AEW. I do have to admit, I'm not trying to suck WWE, but, I am happy that WWE added crowds to Raw and everything. But it did just feel like more robotic. It felt like robots were standing in the crowd, and they did a pretty good job. It was better than usual. Like WWE, if you said give WWE a score based on the crowd, well, in the past weeks they had no crowd, so you'd have to give them a 0 or a 1 or something. And I'd give AEW a probably like a 6 or something like that, like pretty good. At least you got something in the crowd. All right, 6, 5, whatever. I mean, there's been some recent WWE crowds that felt like no crowd a couple of years ago in some of the southern areas. But this time, I would say, because they put some people in the crowd, I'd give WWE probably a 4. Their crowd a 4. They were a little robotic. Seemed like they were it just seemed super kind of like forced and acting, like they were acting. And AEW had a little bit of that too, but it felt more organic in AEW. Like people were passing out cocktail shots or something in AEW. And in WWE, it felt like they'd been in a boardroom meeting earlier, told exactly how to act or whatever. So, but there's also a negative that AEW had, which was that the crowd, at some point, some people were yelling things. And during the promos, it was like a person was yelling at the person doing the promo, so it was awkward. WWE didn't have that. Whether it's because of the hockey glass or because, they obviously they were told don't just yell stuff while someone's cutting a promo, which is the right way to go. And maybe that's because they were actual fans at AEW and someone was actually yelling something. But so that's the one, if I could say one positive about one and one positive about the other, it's that AEW on the negative side of things had that fan yelling over some people's promos, where WWE didn't have that problem. But the AEW audience felt like how AEW feels, which is like anything can happen in this situation, in this brand, where WWE doesn't feel like anything can happen. It kind of just feels like they're so scripted and robotic and whatever. Anyway, last week's Raw rating looks like it drew a 1.7 for Raw on May 25th, Memorial Day. So that is down slightly from the previous week. They went down to, they've been in the 1.9s and 8s for a while now. They went really low on the May 4th episode, if you guys remember, down to a 1.6. So Memorial Day probably helped them and hurt them. Memorial Day, some people probably went out and did some things that they don't normally do. It was a pretty nice day, I think. And then other people were home, but some people still went away despite the whole epidemic thing and whatever else. And so they basically stayed about where they were, but they did drop a little bit. But not the worst rating of the year, but I think it's the second worst rating of the year. Yeah, so it's the second worst rated Raw of the year, I believe. So far in 2019, let's take a look at the ratings. Yeah, so the ratings for the year. So in 2019, the Raw ratings average was a 2.4. So that's 2019. That was last year. So okay, so let's go back to 2017. This is credit to WrestlingInc.com for putting this together. I don't know where they got their numbers for. They probably did themselves. 2017, they had a 3 rating. 3 million average viewership, just over 3 million. 2018, just under 3 million, 2.8. 2019 was a 2.4, which, if you guys were watching my show about 6-7 years ago, I predicted WWE would be down to the low 2s by 2020. That they'd be at 2 million by 2020. And so it is 2020, and we're below that. Now, I didn't plan on the epidemic stuff making things worse, but right now the average episode for this year is probably about 1.7. So, yikes. A drop. I mean, we're on pace to get down to 1 million in the next 2 years. You know, if something doesn't change. I mean, dude, we can tell you everything that's wrong with the company. I don't understand why they can't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, and you know, with AEW being around, there's clear examples of what's going on. And I know there's people out there that will say, oh, well, you know, AEW isn't exactly doing anything well either. And I agree, because I think they're both missing the ability to cross over to a new demographic. So the problem with both companies is that they need to create a superstar that's so entertaining that they transcend the wrestling business and they get into mainstream media. You know, the WWE did a great job at kind of being able to do this over and over again. You know, even when The Rock and Stone Cold died out, that stuff died out. You know, John Cena shot out of nowhere, and you know, they were able to make John Cena a household name. There's all kinds of kids, right, over the last 15 years that have grown up with John Cena. I know who that is. Even if they're a kid and they didn't really love wrestling, they knew who John Cena was, just like Hulk Hogan when we were kids. You know, and then the Attitude Era in between. You know, we had Hulk Hogan, and then we had, you know, the Attitude Era, and, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and everything that happened in that era. I think one of the things the Attitude Era did to Vince maybe he thought like, oh, you know, we don't need megastars. We just need a whole lot of people who are stars. We don't necessarily need that one superstar. But then when the Attitude Era died out a little bit and the Ruthless Aggression stuff started, that was kind of an everyman for himself. Like, better go out and wrestle, better go out and do what you can. And then John Cena kind of rose to the top of that, and they were off to the races again with another megastar, with a guy who transcended the sport of wrestling and into mainstream pop culture stuff. But that's fizzled out now, you know, as well. People still know who John Cena is, but there's nobody really actively watching wrestling from around pop culture to check out John Cena, you know, because he's not there anymore, number one. But it also got kind of boring with him. So we need a new one. They thought it was Roman. I think Roman appealed to that demographic of wrestling fans in the WWE mainstream wrestling fans, but only a small amount, you know, and he never got over to the outside wrestling audience, and he never got over to the hardcore, longtime WWE fan audience, a lot of that. So he didn't work out, and they really haven't found a replacement for that yet, and so that's why things are dwindling, and that's why AEW has problems too. Yeah, they've gotten some new fans who are checking it out, but, you know, for the most part, you know, if AEW was ever to go to 2.5 million or above, I would say, wow, that would be amazing. So that's really the big problem. But WWE, the problems are so obvious that it's so robotic, it's so over-scripted, it just doesn't feel authentic a lot of times. And they're never going to feel authentic until they get rid of this mentality that they seem to have. The announcing in WWE is terrible. The commentary in WWE is horrible. Don't know if that's the commentators or the WWE. I'm going mostly the WWE, but some of the commentators. They need a heel commentator, just like I said AEW needed one. They put Jericho on, that worked. I always put my name in the hat, man. If WWE ever wants, or AEW ever wants to hire me, I'll tell you what, man. If I don't bring the ratings in, I'll jump off the Grand Canyon. All right, dude? I'll jump off the Grand Canyon if I can't bring in something with my heel commentary. Let's go. Let's shuffle it up, man. Let's shake it up. Vince always says it. It's time for a shakeup. Then it never really gets shaken up. It's the biggest false sales pitch I've ever heard. By the way, you guys can check out my new podcast, Meant to Offend, available now on Spotify. Meant to Offend on Spotify now. Also, you can look up Joe Cronin Show, and Joe Cronin Show is also on there. I put up a lot of stuff, but not everything really. So there's a good amount of stuff, but also me and Leah, when we moved into our house, man, and I'll tell you, dude, we didn't have a mattress when we moved from the old house, and so we had to buy one. We bought one at Walmart, a green tea, like, memory foam mattress. And I was like, this thing is probably going to suck, but we don't have any more money left. We only got $190, and it's on sale. So I was like, all right, we're going to get this thing. And I'll tell you what, dude. This thing is the most comfortable bed I've ever slept in besides, like, maybe one hotel room bed. It's crazy. So I have an Amazon link for that. I've been using it for a year. I love it. If you need a new bed, but you don't want to spend over $500, dude, these things are friggin' awesome. This is literally the most comfortable bed, pretty much, that I ever slept on. If something happens to this, I won't go out and buy a new bed. I'll buy this same mattress again. This is the most comfortable mattress I ever had. The memory foam, and it feels so cool when you lay on it. Anyway, my Amazon link is down below in the comments and the description box. You can use that to get the savings and to order it off of Amazon Prime. This one's only $173. Okay, with this price. I mean, the one I bought was $250 on sale from $299. So now it's down to $173. I think you guys will love this if you're looking for a quick replacement for a bed for a year or two or whatever. Honestly, that's what I was looking for, but now I love it more than my previous beds. So I would just rebuy it again. Dude, I love this memory foam. You know, maybe some of you upper class people who have like a beautiful like box spring mattress for like $3,000, like maybe you swear by that, but I don't know, man. The spring mattress that we had before was not as comfortable as this memory foam mattress for like $173. Now you can get a king size too, or a twin or whatever, but anyway, the link is down below. Thanks to Zionist Green Tea. Zionist Memory Foam. Yeah. What? I'm in the... Jesus Christ. Where's the food? In the fridge. Leah just asked me where the French fries are. Where do you think they are? The fridge. No, they're in the closet. Go look in the closet for the French fries. Or under the bed. Were they in the freezer? Look in this freezer down here. I saw some in the freezer earlier. Upstairs, actually, I think. All right, so yeah, check that out. Dark Side of the Ring's been a huge hit. We're way behind. The good thing is we're way behind. There's so much to talk about with Dark Side of the Ring. Jake DeMarco has just been so sick, and then I've been not available. So we keep missing each other, but he's so sick, it's hard to do him. And I really want to wait for him, I think, on most of them. But, you know, we'll see. So when me and him, we sit down and record these talks about Dark Side of the Ring or whatever we do, it's going to be crazy because there's so much. There's going to be so much to look back and check out. Kenny Omega responded to some criticism about the AEW women's division. People wanted Deonna Purrazzo to be in AEW, talking about how bad, you know, AEW's division is. I guess Kenny Omega said, truly happy for Deonna, but I'm incredibly proud of our division and athletes. You should try watching some of our matches. Start with the recent title match from a few days ago, and then honestly tell me we need help. So, okay, so I guess Kenny Omega's delusional, but okay. Some strong thoughts that I very much disagree with, but it's completely fine. Kenny responded, watch what you enjoy. I mean, you know, what's he really going to do? If he doesn't if people don't like the women's division, I mean, what are we really going to do? What are you really going to do, you know? I get it. But, you know, Kenny, I got to tell you, man, I love you, brother. I really think you're great. But the women's division is kind of a mess. It's a little better sometimes, and then it kind of takes a step back again. I'm telling you from an honest fan opinion, my honest opinion of watching wrestling for like 30 years and being a wrestler, just everything. I'm telling you that it has not been that good. It's been the worst thing about AEW, all right? And I'm not saying that to put anyone down, because it doesn't mean that that's anybody's necessarily fault particularly, but the choices made have been the worst thing. Some of the matches, some of the botches, and some of the things haven't been good either, but it's not one person's fault. But the overall presentation of the women's division, from execution to decision-making, has been very bad. And if you don't know that, then I don't know how to help anybody, or who cares. Nobody probably wants the help or cares, but I'm just telling you what people think. Most people think that aren't D-riders. And if you're a D-rider, then fine. What are you going to do? You know, they're never going to criticize a product or be upset. Hey, man, that's great. That's who you are. That's what you do. Fine. But I'm here to talk about what's right and what I think is right and wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right about everything either, because just like Kenny Omega or anybody in AEW, I have good days and bad days and good decisions and bad decisions. But this is how I feel, and this is how a lot of people feel, so maybe listen to it, a little bit. Maybe there's a lot of things that we're coming up with that we don't know that, you tried that wouldn't have been better. I don't know. But from my honest opinion, looking from the outside in, the women's division has been the weakest thing in the company. How much blame do you want to give it? How weak do you want to call it? I don't know. But anyway, tonight is AEW. I'll see you guys for the AEW review tonight. I'm Joe Cronin. Leave a comment down below. Hit me up on Twitter at the toxic Twitter at JCS Commentary. But man, what a toxic garbage place Twitter is. I'll tell you that, man. Anyway, I'm sure everybody's on there today bullying JD about his comment that he made 2 months ago that a troll sent to Alexa Bliss. So gotta love Twitter. They literally stand on the grave of somebody who killed herself, and then tell JD he should be careful because of that happening. And yet he didn't make those comments recently. He made them months ago, and everybody's been triggered by them, and now he gets death threats, and he's the one that's told to be careful. Just an incredibly toxic place. I'm out of here. Here's some of the videos you might have missed. I'll be making videos on my gaming channel coming up in regards to Diablo 3, maybe Warzone, PUBG, Halo, but definitely Diablo 3 and the new Minecraft Dungeons, which is basically a D3 clone type of thing. All right, see you guys. See you tonight for the AEW review. We will be live tonight. You may not get an alert, so make sure you're coming back here tonight.